On the afternoon of September 15th, 2025, 15-year-old Shivani Kavat from Mehatabpura village in Baran district, Rajasthan, was performing a routine household chore, collecting water from the Parvati River. This river, while a vital resource for local communities, is also home to mugger crocodiles, known for their aggressive behavior and territorial nature. As Shivani filled her pots at the riverbank, a crocodile lunged from the water, seizing her by the arms and dragging her into the river. Nearby villagers working in adjacent fields witnessed the attack and immediately sprang into action. Some launched boats into the river, attempting to scare the crocodile away and rescue Shivani. Despite their efforts, the crocodile maintained its grip, and Shivani was pulled into deeper waters, disappearing from sight. The villagers alerted local authorities, prompting a search operation led by the Kishanganj police and supported by the State Disaster Response Force. The search continued into the night but yielded no results. The following morning, Shivani's body surfaced near the riverbank. A medical team conducted a post-mortem examination, which revealed that while her body bore deep wounds on her arms, consistent with the crocodile's grip, there were no fatal injuries beyond these. The cause of death was determined to be drowning. In March 2009, a fatal crocodile attack occurred on the Rusizi River, one of the main waterways flowing into Lake Tanganyika. The victim was a young man from a nearby village who had entered the shallows to cut reeds. This area was well known for the presence of a giant Nile crocodile named Gustav, a specimen estimated to be close to 20 feet, 6 meters long, and weighing over a ton. Gustav had been observed by researchers since the late 1990s and was already associated with numerous local fatalities. While the man worked in the shallows, Gustav attacked with no warning. Witnesses reported the animal rising explosively from the water, clamping down with immense force and pulling the man under. The jaws of a Nile crocodile of Gustav's size are capable of exerting several thousand pounds of pressure per square inch, easily crushing bone and preventing escape. By the time others on shore reacted, the man had been dragged beneath the surface. Blood spread quickly through the water, and the victim's body was never recovered. For the community, this confirmed long-standing fears. Gustav was not only real, but still actively hunting humans. On the afternoon of July 20th, 2023, a 35-year-old man named Maud Nasir went to the river in Sabah, Malaysia. He was bathing with his younger brother, a routine the two often did together. The area was calm, surrounded by dense greenery, but it was also known crocodile territory. As the brothers splashed in the water, the piece shattered in an instant. A large crocodile surged forward from below the surface and clamped its jaws around Nasir's body. The attack was so sudden that his younger brother barely had time to react before Nasir was being pulled toward deeper water. The younger brother screamed for help. Villagers nearby rushed to the scene, grabbing sticks, ropes, and anything they could use. Several men waded into the water, desperately trying to fight the animal off. In a dramatic attempt to save him, the bystanders actually tried to force the crocodile's jaws open. They pulled, pushed, and struck the reptile, hoping to weaken its grip. But crocodiles have one of the most powerful bite forces in the animal kingdom, and this one refused to let go. Despite the combined strength of several rescuers, the jaws would not budge. Within moments, Nasir was dragged beneath the surface. The rescuers continued their efforts, but it was too late. The water went still, and he was gone. Hours later, search teams scoured the river. After an extensive search, they recovered his remains further downstream. His body was returned to his family for burial. April of 2011, 28-year-old Todd Bairstow was fishing near a creek in the Northern Territory of Australia. It was late in the afternoon, and Todd had been standing in the shallows, casting his line, when the quiet suddenly broke. From beneath the murky water, a large saltwater crocodile launched itself. In an instant, it clamped its jaws around his legs and dragged him under. The attack was violent and fast. One moment he was fishing, the next he was fighting for his life. The crocodile tried to perform a death roll, the spinning maneuver designed to tear apart prey. Todd's legs were twisted, and he felt himself being pulled deeper. But instead of panicking, he started to fight back with everything he had. He used his fists, punching the crocodile over and over. He kicked at it, twisted his body, and tried to gouge at its head. At one point, he even jammed his hands near its eyes, one of the few vulnerable spots on a crocodile. The battle continued in the water. Every time he surfaced, he gasped for air before being pulled down again. Todd later recalled the sheer strength of the crocodile, saying it felt impossible to break free. But he refused to give up. Finally, after repeated strikes, the crocodile released him. Exhausted and injured, Todd managed to crawl toward the bank. Locals nearby heard his screams and rushed to pull him to safety. He was taken to hospital with serious leg injuries but survived the ordeal. In December of 2021, in the village of Hwanga, Zimbabwe, two cousins, an 11-year-old boy named Aaron and his 9-year-old friend, went down to the river to play. The water was shallow, and like many children in rural areas, they were cooling off without realizing the danger lurking nearby. As the younger boy splashed at the edge, a crocodile suddenly lunged from the water. It grabbed the 9-year-old by the head and began pulling him in. Aaron, just 11 years old, could have run for help. Instead, he chose to fight the crocodile directly. He jumped on top of the reptile's back, pounding it with his fists and kicking it, trying to force it to release his cousin. Then Aaron remembered what his elders had taught him. Crocodiles have vulnerable eyes. He jammed his fingers into the animal's eyes, digging as hard as he could. The crocodile thrashed violently, but the pain forced it to release its grip. The moment his cousin was free, Aaron pulled him from the water and dragged him to safety. He had deep wounds on his head and face, but survived, all thanks to his cousin's quick thinking and incredible bravery.